So, what's up, Dirty Cones? I've been trying to do this all day, and I've been, I don't know, big mental block on words. I think I've started like 5 times. Uh, Only because, I realize a lot of people are listening to this, and, it's important. I want to convey my message, and, excuse me, sometimes, I don't know, sometimes words just don't come as easy as I would like. And, but my girlfriend helped me. She texted me because she said, "So what's the problem? What's going on?" I said, "I know what I'm trying to say, and, I'm saying something, but it doesn't feel good." And so her response to me was, "I've always liked your explanation on where you get your confidence. It's mental. It's telling yourself you can, because there are these moments where you don't have a choice. It becomes almost a mantra, a habit, and it bleeds into all parts of your life once you can control it like that. It's beyond mind over matter." And so the question was this morning was from Brendan, was about weaknesses and strengths, and should you play to your strengths or your weaknesses? And I think we tend to favor our strengths. And I think that's important, because, what do you like to do? Yeah, it's a strength, Are you right-handed? Well, you're probably going to shoot better than left-handed. But if one thing that pararescue in life has taught me, it's that you need to have no weaknesses. And I know it sounds super, it's like, well, how do I do that? I can't walk on water. I'm not perfect. So what do I do? But you have to try. It doesn't matter that it's impossible or, implausible. You still have to try to do it, because there's gonna be some dude you gotta go rescue, and he's deep behind enemy lines, type stuff. And it's like, well, we can't do it. It's too dangerous or whatever. That's a human life, man. We gotta go. So, you make it happen. And so I think you have to. The first part is figuring out what your weaknesses are. Muhammad Ali once said, my only weakness is that I have no weakness. And he had weaknesses. Everybody's got weaknesses, but you don't let other people know your weakness. Now you're on a team. You're like, hey, I kind of suck at this. All right, well, let's work on that. We'll make it better. And when the Spartans fought at Thermopylae in Aeneas, you have teamwork, and that covers your weakness, because you get someone else who's not weak in that subject or in that area, and together you're unstoppable. So the idea of teamwork to overcome weaknesses, is a huge part of pararescue. Working together, overcoming all odds, to achieve, not greater glory, but greatness, for mankind. And I think that that's important. So, if you know that you suck at flutter kicks, then you should be doing a boatload of flutter kicks to where it's no longer a weakness, or if it is still a weakness, it might be stronger than the average bear because you put in the time for it. If shooting's a problem for you, work on your breathing, work on your trigger control, work on, sight picture, work on, what's going on. Well, I pull to the left, I pull to the right, whatever, so weaknesses are there, much like I think tragedies or, everyday, trials and tribulations of, man, this sucks. Because how do you get better? How do you learn? You don't learn from the game that you won because everything went well. Maybe you learned from the week before when you lost, and so the next week, wow, okay, this is what we should have done. That worked a whole lot better. So you can learn from wins, but generally as human beings, look at Super Bowl champs. Who usually wins the next year? Is it the guys who won the previous year? Or is it, the guys who are like, yeah, they're hungry for it? And I think as a young PJ or young controller, you can throw in whatever I'm talking about as a young human being. you're hungry for knowledge, uh, for life experiences, for, you know, for everything. And so you want those answers. You're like, how am I going to get better? Versus, you know, a lot of times as we get older, we get a little bit more complacent. You know, it's like, well, I already did that, or I know the answer, or, you know, whatever. And I think that that's where you lose it. You always got to keep that young, conish sensibility about you, to where, you know, you want to know answers. You want everything. You don't want to be weak at something. You know, you want to be good in the water. You want to be good on land. You want to be good at push-ups. You want to be good in everything. So I say play to your strengths, in that, you know, if it's something you love to do, then, you know, it's good. But you, one, need to find out what your weaknesses are. You got to be honest with yourself. And two, you need to do your best to eliminate those weaknesses. You know, I think that's what it comes down to, is you know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, and you just got to obliterate them. That's the secret, and that's how you're going to be a good PJ or your combat controller, is by examining yourself, thinking about what's going on, and saying, okay, I can do this better. I can do this. And that's where it comes, like, you know, sometimes you got to work harder, you know. I suck at this, I suck at that, alright, I'm going to work harder. And then sometimes you got to be like, okay, I got to work smarter. Why do I suck at this? What's going on? What's my mental block? Why can't I figure out math? Why am I having trouble doing this? Why don't my legs stay where I want when I'm parachuting and I'm backsliding? You know, I am not a backslider. I'm just using it as an example. It's all about you, and everybody's got different strengths. Everybody's got different weaknesses. You know, you never let your opponent know what your weakness is. You know, if I'm a boxer, jiu-jitsu guy, MMA, you know, fighter, chess player, and, you know, the guy across from me knows, he likes to favor the right side of the board, or he leads with his left, and he does this, you know, and he leaves his guard down so his head's open, or, you know, look right there, it's perfect for a kick. It's all, you know, knowing yourself. And, you know, there's your true enemy, yourself. Once you master yourself, you can pretty much take on anybody. You just got to know yourself. You know your strengths, know your weaknesses. Be like, all right, I know that my left sucks, so maybe I'll show him my left, but I'm going to come out with my right. Or I'm going to show him my right, but come out with my left, because he won't be expecting that. You just got to be, you know, wily, like old Wile E. Coyote. You know, super duper smart. It just, you know, lacked in the, I don't know, the true smart. Because if he was really smart, he'd been like, man, this Roadrunner is way too smart for me. I should go after maybe a bunny rabbit or something. But yeah, so I've been thinking about this all day, trying to figure out, because you guys, you know, I'm trying to give you good information. I'm trying to give you, you know, valuable, to me, you know, these are the mistakes I made. This is where, you know, I could have done better. This is where I could have been faster. This is where, you know, if I had known, I'd have run more, you know, or ran faster. All that kind of stuff, you know, if I can help you guys, like I said, you know, I'm all about it. You know, I won't give you everything. I've said that many times. But I will give you, you know, at least a good platform and a place to ask questions and say, hey, what do you think is up with this? You know, why am I that? And I just got some new videos of people swimming, and I hadn't gotten any in a while, and I wonder if it had to do with us making fun of that poor kid. And I feel bad about that, but at the same time, it's like, you need to have thick skin for special forces, for pararescue, for life. You can't be like, oh, he said something and it hurt my feelings. If that's the way you are, then, and I know a lot of you guys are young, so you're, you know, maybe you shouldn't be prepared for that kind of stuff, but the world is a very mean place, and dang it. Anyway, the world's a very mean place, and I almost sneezed. And it's not getting any nicer. I mean, ISIS, Al Qaeda, there's no time out with those guys. You know, they're cutting people's heads off and setting people on fire. I don't remember that kind of stuff when I was growing up. You know, I mean, there were bad people, and you know, bad things have always happened. But it's like, you know, they have to be meaner than they were because I don't know. The proliferation of violence has just gotten, you know. Oh shoot! Well, they're used to getting people's heads getting cut off, so let's do it with a spoon, or let's do it like this. And hey, what the hell? Let's just set the dude on fire. That's our enemy. That's how cold-blooded and dedicated they are to what they're doing. So that's why you, as a young trainee, as a young American, you know, we don't need to be that brutal, but that's what your training needs to be towards. Like, it needs to be to where you're like, I can handle this, I can do this, I can handle anything, because that's where warfare is going, you know. That's almost where life's going. I mean, look, there's 1 million people trying for jobs, and, you know, there's only so many jobs, so who's going to be the best fry cook? You know, who's going to be the best #1 dude pumping gas? I mean, it's just, you gotta fight. So you gotta fight in everything you do. I think that's important. So I'll finish this in a second. I gotta get some gas.